Right, let's turn our attention. Look at this. Paul Merson is here. He's joined us to give us his FA Cup prediction. We're sitting down this week. How lovely. Let's start. Let's get to the first one, shall we? Everton against Leicester. What have you gone for?
I've gone for Leicester to win this. Leicester are my team to win the FA Cup this Everton are my team to win the FA Cup. Yeah, I go for them quite a lot every year. They're unlucky last year. And they're in a position, they're not getting relegated. They're not going to get into the top four. And I think they can play their strongest team in this, in my opinion, Rob. And I think, I know the draw wins you the FA Cup, and it does, but Everton, for me, have got a strong opportunity this season.
Let's go to Sunderland against Burnley. Interesting, this one a reverse of the Premier League fixture a week ago. Sean Dyche's side won this one 4-1. You consider a reverse in fortune, sir?
Yeah, I think it's a game both teams don't need, if I'm being honest. But I just think if you're away from home, I think you're a team that can rest players. I think if you're at home, and for me, you have to play a half-decent, strong team if you're going to get a crowd there. So I've gone for Sunderland for this, and then I think it gives Burnley the concentration to stay up. OK, two managers taking charge of their first game for the new club. We have Marco Silva and we have Paul Clement as Hull host Swansea. So let's have a look. Who's going to be happier at full time? I've watched Hull recently over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I think they've been decent. They've been unlucky. They just needed a break here and there. If the half-time whistle didn't come against West Brom, they would have probably gone on and won that game. I probably would end up changing this because Hull are in the semi-final next in midweek. But again, it's another game both teams don't need. It really is. I mean, if you could say to both of these teams don't play, I think they'd settle for that.
Right, Southampton go to Norwich on the back of 3 straight defeats. Their captain, Jose Font, handing in that transfer request. Do you see a slip-up for them at Carrow Road?
Yeah, I do. I mean, again, got the semi-final of the Football League Cup coming up midweek, 2 games away from Wembley. I mean, it's just giving the FA Cup no chance, this situation, the way it is at the moment, Rob. And I've gone for Norwich to beat Southampton in probably a very weakened team.
Yeah, I give much hope to Norwich fans who are currently not having the best of seasons. League One, Millwall host Bournemouth. Potential upset for the Premier League side, do you think?
No, not for me. Oh. No, I think Bournemouth are another team that could have a right go at this FA Cup. You know, and when you look at Bournemouth over the last couple of years in the League Cup, when they have rested players and they brought their other players in, they've always performed. And I think, you know, I like Bournemouth. I think they're a very, very good football team.
Interesting. FA Cup throws up these ones. Sam Allardyce returning to his old club, Bolton, who are flying high in League One. Right, upset here?
No, I think he'll settle for this. I think he'll set his team out like it's a Premier League game, be very, very tight. And, you know, again, Bolton need to get out their league and Palace need to stay up. I mean, again, it was probably one of the worst draws I've ever seen of the FA Cup, if I'm being honest. I remember watching it the other day, and the lads who were doing it, I was thinking, you've got to pick a game in a minute. I don't think there's one game. You know, there's not one game, and all these games, they just don't help anybody. And if you want to push the FA Cup forward, Rob, it's got to change.
And my was not because I want to see Crystal Palace not out. Please don't get me wrong, there's tweets will be coming in. Right, don't forget you have to be over 18 to play. And if you want, like perhaps Paul Merson does, to change one of your results entries, you can get up to 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Full terms and conditions available online.